my friend Allie. That's enough. Anyways, she challenged me to build her a tiny apartment in Bloxburg. First though, make sure to join the jungle to enter into the 50k Bloxburg cash giveaway and to be in a future video where I build a subscriber's house. Here's what the tiny apartment's gonna look like. This is the layout. I know, very basic, very simple. You're gonna notice that this build uses so many basic shapes as it's so much easier to work off the grid. You know how the normal walls in Bloxburg are aligned to this grid that you can't change? Yeah, well, basic shapes, you can place them anywhere. So a lot of my walls and rooms, I wanted it to be smaller than what would normally be on the grid, and using basic shapes is the easiest way to make that happen, I guess. Which is why I figured I'd use a lot of basic shapes to really make this my own, you know, to kind of help me actually lay out where I want things to go and whatnot. So here I am. I think I'm working on the bathroom now. And you'll notice that the bathroom isn't completely together. Like, this is the shower over here, and then I put the toilet on the other side. Yeah, so I put the toilet on the other side, and you might be thinking, that looks so stupid, like, why would you do that? I don't know, I think it looked good. I liked the way it flowed better in the house, and it took up less space because it was, like, disconnected. And I think having a disconnected, like, toilet and shower makes the living space so much more free, and I feel like it's way more open, which is something I really wanted. I didn't want things to feel like it was like closed together, and yeah. And you'll notice here now I'm working on the kitchen, which I really like the kitchen actually. It looks really homey, even though it's so small. I used 2 mini fridges, which looked super good to make one fridge. And then you'll see here I'm just copying windows around and trying to make the apartment look more open, I guess. And then here I'm getting started on the balcony. I've never actually made a balcony before, I feel like, but it came out really nice, and they're actually easy to make. Like, it was really fun, and this is the whole thing's copy and pastable. Like, I could make a bunch of apartments and use that balcony and whatnot, but obviously I'm not going to. And you'll see here now, I'm getting started on the closet. The closet I actually found was really hard to do. It was maybe just time consuming, I guess, because I wanted it to be a fence gate, right? Because I feel like that fence gate door, it's see-through a little, like a closet door might be, and I just like the way it opened. So I used that, and then I wanted it to just look really nice. So I spent a little bit extra time on it. And of course you had to cover up the fence because you're using a fence gate. So a few basic shapes were placed for that, and I think it turned out good, so I've got no complaints about it. And yeah, I think it looks great. Over here I get started on this sort of table, I guess, like a TV table, which I had this vision in my mind, I guess. I don't know, I kind of just thought that it would look cool if it was like this seamless wooden table that circled around. I don't know if you've seen pictures like that, but I feel like I've seen that before. And I don't know, I just went for it. It didn't take super long, and I thought it looked like great, so yeah. And then what I actually did is I also made this storage by adding like little handles to it. Even though it's not functional storage, it looks like you have like cabinets and stuff in there, and I thought that was cool. You'll see that coming up eventually. But I also made it into a desk. So I put this little piece on the side of it to make it into kind of flow into a desk as well, which I thought was awesome. Like, I'm really proud of that part. I feel like it came out really nice, and it's definitely something you guys could do in your builds. Like, it's not very difficult, and it looks really cool, I feel like. So after that, see, yeah, so here's where I'm adding the handles in, which again, super easy copy and paste tool handles, and they turned out really nice. I like how they look with the build, especially. And as you can see, I just throw them in, and boom, gives it a little bit more detail, and I feel like it just looks a little better. Next, I'm making this sort of daybed, bed, couch thing, all of the above, really. I mean, it kind of functions as the little living space for the tiny apartment owner, Allie, and I thought it looked really pretty at the end. And you'll see here I'm working on this blanket. I end up making the blanket like orange, and that's one thing I want to talk about is like color. In my builds, like most people, I guess not most people, but I've seen where people just go with an accent color for their whole build. So their whole build will be like green or blue, and then they'll have like wood and stuff. And I think just it's just too much, right? I like where you have these colors, right? So for example, in this build, I have bronze, like bronze themes in it, as well as mid gray, and then some of this like beige wood, this like tan wood. And those colors work really nicely together, but I incorporate other colors, right? So I'm adding these other colors. I add green, I add blues, I add these like other oranges and tans. And I just think that color really transforms your build. Like that's where it looks its best, is when you use multiple colors. So you'll see here, I'm actually adding in green. I'll change the blankets color in a second to like this nice orange. And I just think that if you're gonna add color, you should do it. So next, I have this little hanging plant thing here, and if you don't like decal plants, I'm sorry. You don't have to add them. You can always add a gardening item, but I think that they look good if you use them right, and if you add them alongside like real gardening items from Bloxburg, it like actually looks really nice. And then you'll see here, I'm just adding more details, pretty much finishing the build. I mean, most of the build, like its base layout is done. I just need to color things and add details, which you'll see me do up until a certain point. No spoilers, but I do really like how it turned out. It's a very cozy apartment, and it feels big even though it's not. It's a very tiny apartment. So yeah, I definitely like how it came out. I like the details I added, and it's all fully functional, which is great. But yeah, I love these little pots. I don't remember where I saw that, but I feel like it looks so cool when you put that little like beveled cylinder under it. I feel like it looks amazing. So you'll see I'm just coloring things here. Everything looks really realistic, but still not crazy realistic. More like homey, like it still looks like Bloxburg is what I'm trying to say. And I like that a lot. I don't like super realistic builds, which is like just a little too much for me, but coming up here, you'll see a moment where, well, I guess I won't spoil what happens, but here. As I was editing this video, my recording completely cut off all of a sudden, and I lost all of the footage past this exact point. So instead, I'll give you a little tour and show you some of the changes I added before showing the build to Allie. Okay, it's tour time. Let's start out here. I've got this little part I decorated, added more details to. I ended up changing this plant to flowers. I added this Stussy 8-ball rug, shout out to Rachel. And then look at all this little storage and clutter under the bed. I just feel like it looks so homey. Over here, we finished the desk and all that, which looks beautiful with those plants. Oh, I added this sound bar. Didn't know that was in the game. And decal clothes. Go to my channel for the tutorial if you want. They look awesome. And after that, we've got the mini fridge. Well, the two mini fridges that are actually just one fridge. Oh, the pot faucet. I remember making that and didn't even know those things existed. That little dining table looks so sick. The shower, these curtains that I use for the bathroom. All of it really turned out super nice. So, now that I finished the tiny apartment for Allie, I figured I would do a little interview and maybe test the functionality of the apartment. Enjoy! So, how do you like your new tiny apartment?
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. It's goated.
Just to test the functionality, can you go, like, make me a sandwich?
Yo, what?
Oh, hot dogs.
Why didn't you eat your hot dog? Does it taste bad?
I wanted a sandwich.